Hello and welcome again to Beginner Bonsai. Here on Beginner Bonsai, we don't always have a lot of space. So today I'm utilizing my parking lot and a couple of our garbage cans as my workspace area. This is quite a big tree and it is in a thick dirt soil. This isn't really good for bonsai. It will suffocate the roots like I was speaking about earlier. The dust from the volcanic rock and pumice can suffocate your roots just like this dirt can. And you really need something that's more porous and allows a lot more water to pass through and air to circulate so that your roots can be healthy and feed the plant like it's really supposed to be fed. I'll start by taking a look at the bottom here. And there is no wiring in, so I don't have to remove any wiring apparently. Move this accent rock so we don't accidentally damage that. This tree should actually just come out quite easily since it's not wired in, and it did. You can see now that this pot is quite dirty. We're going to want to go wash that, which I will do right now. We've got this pot washed out nice and thoroughly now, and I'm going to use this screen material. I'm going to cut patches of it just the size to cover these holes in the bottom because we want the water to be able to drain out perfectly. There's one. And two. Now, a great way to secure these drainage pieces to the bottom is take a piece of wire and you simply bend it into a Z pattern, like so. This is a larger pot than I'm normally repotting, so I'm going to have to make a larger Z than I'm used to. Crimp down the bends. And then you space it in your hole so that your bends on either side are the width of the hole, hence making a staple that looks like so. Now, I can take this staple, place it through my screen. You simply place the staple through the hole and bend out the bottom pieces. End up with a finished product like so. Creating another staple. We need to cut some wires to secure the tree into the pot. A general rule of thumb is running the wire 3/4 of the way around the pot to find out the proper length for the amount of wire you'll need to wire the tree in. For this tree, since it's so large, I think I'll use 2 wires. So I'll double that length. And now these 2 large wires I'm going to run through the bottom of the pot in order to be able to secure the tree in. Take your time when you're wiring and preparing your pot because you want the tree to be secured properly. Otherwise, there's really no point in repotting the tree in the first place. Alright, so that looks good. I'm going to go get some drainage. What I have here is some river rock. We're just going to pour this as a bottom layer. So keep our netting in the bottom in place, and also just make sure that there's plenty of drainage in the very bottom. These rocks don't really benefit the bonsai tree at all, but just drainage. Get our wires arranged nicely. All right, now our pot is ready. Let's work on the tree and its roots, seeing how much we have to trim back, and really the angle of the tree, how we're going to put it back in here. So I've got my rake here. I'm going to start working on the soil. I'm not really going to worry about this since I'm outside and let it fall on the ground. I'll clean up later. But just come around and start breaking off all the old soil. Gentle. You don't want to tear the roots, but just break away anything that's obviously loose soil that's just decayed, bark and roots and nutrients. It's really not doing anything for your tree at this point, except suffocating the roots. And this is why we're repotting, is just to clean out all this old dirt and really give it something to breathe, something to deliver new nutrients to it, and to deliver oxygen. Really you want to get at the bottom of the tree. You want to clean out all this. That's where a lot of this really mucky, dead, wet soil is going to be, because that's where it collects. All the sediment, all the fine soil, it collects at the bottom of your pot. It plugs those holes in the bottom, stops your plant from draining properly, and really in the end it's going to kill your roots. I'm not worried about taking a lot of this dirt away, because it's really doing nothing for the tree but just killing it. And it's nice, healthy, it's green, it's still living. So I'm going to take probably a good 2/3 of the dead, old, wet dirt away from this, and I'm going to add in some of that fresh akadama, lava, pumice mix that I created earlier today. Now if you can see these big roots here, this is why I'm cleaning this out, and I got these cutters. These big, thick roots, you can cut these off. They are really not promoting the type of growth that you want. The roots that you want are the thin, small roots. They are the ones providing life to the tree and not major growth. So any of the big, thick roots, feel free to trim those back. Especially big taproot, if you find one in the bottom of your tree that's keeping it from getting as deep in the pot as you'd like. A lot of times there'll be a thick taproot on the bottom that you can cut away and really reduce a lot of height on your tree and bring it down in the pot. Alright, this is looking pretty good. I think I've got this root ball cleaned up to about the point I'm comfortable with taking the dirt away. Because this was in such thick dirt, I don't want to take all the dirt away. I don't want to do a bare rooting. I just want to put it in some nice, good bonsai soil with this root ball and dirt base, and this will decompose into the rest of the soil that I put it into, and maybe in a couple years then it could be replanted into some more strictly organic soil. But at this point, I think that this will do perfectly, and we'll be really healthy and really enjoy life in the new soil I'm about to place it in. So let's start with a nice base layer of this soil, because you don't want to put the tree directly onto the drainage rock. You want it to be on top of some of this akadama, some of this pumice, some of this lava rock, because the rigid edges of the pumice and the lava rock, they force the roots to split and ratify and create more roots, and more thin roots, not one big, thick, long root. Now we really want to look at this tree and consider which way we want to put this in the pot. It's a beautiful tree, and I'd hate to not take advantage of its full beauty. So I'm just kind of going to sit here for a minute, look at it from different angles, and decide what its new front will be. Now, I'm really liking this side here. It's got this big root here. It's got a little bit of deadwood viewed in the back. Not quite as much depth as I like, though. So let's take a look at the other side. It's got a little bit better depth, but really that is right there. That is looking nice. I like the way that looks. It's got some nice depth. It gives a nice curve. You can see a lot of the characteristics of the tree. I think this is really the front right here. Well, I'm going to look at the tree that way. Line this up in the pot so that front is coming straight at you. How does that look? Let's see. It's looking pretty nice. I really like that. I think that's how we're going to do the tree here. You want to put it slightly offset the base so that the center of the tree really takes up the pot. And this is really, I think this is what's going to look great here in this new spot. At this point, you want to pull the wires slack with the pliers and then twist. Pull back the slack with the pliers and then twist while you pinch together with your fingers at the base. Oh yeah, it's in there nice and tight. So now we've got all this room around here. We want to slowly push in some soil, and we're going to chop it in. Take into account the base and make sure that the height is matching where your soil line is going to be. Right here you can see this root is just barely showing with the soil line about where I want it. And pretty much done. That's about all there is. You want to wash this now. Wash it out, make sure you get any of the dust out of it. So water it thoroughly for about 5 to 10 minutes until it runs clear, and you should be good to go. Your bonsai should be really healthy and happy. You should water your bonsai regularly with this kind of soil because it does dry out easily, and don't want to fertilize it right away. That'll burn the roots. So wait just a bit and start fertilizing it maybe 6 weeks down the line, and you should be good to go.